Hi, this is Len Edgerly for the Kindle Chronicles podcast, and today is Thursday, February 27th. I am at the Sheraton Tribeca Hotel in New York City with my gear and all kinds of impressions and also some audio clips and outlines because I want to tell you about an event I covered yesterday. It was Amazon's announcement of the new AI-enhanced Alexa, which is called Alexa Plus. And when they write that out, they say Alexa with a plus sign next to it. I'll sketch the scene a little bit, and then I'm going to play sort of an intro audio clip from Panos Panay, who is the head of devices and services for Amazon. And what happened is I had a short walk from my hotel here to Spring Studios, and that was some very elaborate space which Amazon rented for this event. Different floors had different activities. We walked in. I knew this was a bigger event than I had expected, or that have been the recent events I've attended for Amazon, because the queuing up for the reporters was kind of like South by Southwest. You went in and you chose which line you were in by alphabet. I did the ones that A through E or something, and then I got my name tag, which would enable me to get into the event, and then went up to a different floor. There was a waiting area where they had some tasty treats to eat, and we were kept outside of the big presentation room until 9:30 is when they opened the doors. I made sure to be there very close to the doors because it turned out there were about 250 people there, and I wanted to be in the front row so I'd get a good seat. And there was a big guy wearing sort of a Secret Service curly Q in his ear that was making sure nobody got in. But when the doors opened, I went in and got a spot right in the front row in front of a stage that had a huge screen behind it, blue, with the Amazon Swoop logo, and some big displays. There was a big TV display, and there were three smaller displays, which turned out to be Echo shows, probably the 21-inch kind. Good music, everybody getting their gear ready, and I was sitting next to Lance Ulanoff, and he was doing live blogging for Tech Radar, and very exciting, very exciting. The first speaker turned out to be the CEO of Amazon, who I haven't seen at one of these events. Actually, I think since he became CEO a few years ago, taking over from Jeff Bezos. So that was a bit of a surprise that he was there, and he made some remarks, which I'll tell you about. And then Panos Panay, who I had seen at the last event when the new ColorSoft was announced and some other things. It was a strictly Kindle event, and he was very animated. I thought, frankly, he was a little bit slick, but very good. He wasn't Dave Limp. Dave Limp, the previous guy, was a little bit bumbling and earnest, and I really liked him a lot. But at this event, it seemed like Panos Panay really came into his own. He spoke in a way I found very credible, the kind of not afraid to let his emotions show and be very human, and at the same time being very organized and making clear that he knew what he wanted us to understand about the new Alexa, and he did a good demonstration of it. So early in his demonstration, we finally got to actually see and hear what this new Alexa is all about. Here's a little clip.
Alexa, how are you?
I'm doing great. Ready to chat and help out. How can I assist you today?
Very cool. I'm in Spring Studios in New York. There's about 250 people with me right now. They're tech reporters, influencers, bloggers, partners. It's pretty incredible. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but we're about to do live demos. What do you think can go wrong?
Wow, that sounds like quite an event. With so many eyes on you, it's natural to feel a bit nervous. As for what could go wrong, let's just say Murphy's Law is probably sharpening his pencil right now. But hey, those live demos are where magic happens, and where you'll shine brightest. Remember, even if something hiccups, it's all part of the show. You've got this.
We're here to talk about you.
right, let's chat about me then. I'm Alexa, reimagined from the ground up. Think of me as your friendly, know-it-all sidekick with a...
Yeah, I'm gonna hit mute every now and then just to share with you because I want to share just a few things I'm gonna come back to.
The recordings that I have from the presentation I made with my Plod note pin, which I had attached to my shirt. And, the pickup is pretty good, but there was a big cavernous area, so there's a little bit of an echo there. And what was really helpful was the Plod pin has all of this AI built into it. So when I loaded it onto it was on my iPhone, loaded in my computer, I could find audio clips just by looking through the entire transcript and then use that to share with you here. But the audio's not fantastic, so I'm not going to overburden you with echoey clips from the Claude pin. I think it was shortly after that little intro demo that Panos tried something else. He took the screen that Alexa Plus was talking to him on, and he moved it so that it was facing us in the audience. It was probably, staring right at me in the front row. And he asked her, he said, well, here's the audience. How excited do you think they look about the arrival of Alexa Plus? And so, I raised my hands. A number of people were real fans and enthusiastic among the press and elsewhere. But anyway, it was a pretty good response. And she said, well, it looks to me like they're pretty excited about this. So, that was a moment where it felt like Alexa was actually looking at us and then trying to figure out how excited we were about the new product. We have a lot of ground to cover here this morning, but I do want to, fairly early in the episode, just let you know, if in case you haven't heard from some of the other coverage from these 250 reporters that were there, the essential aspects of this that you might need to know if you're interested in having Alexa Plus as part of your household or your life. This new service is going to be available for $19.99 a month for people who don't have a Prime membership, but if you have Prime, you get it for free. So I thought that was interesting. I was expecting maybe if I was a Prime member, I was going to have to pay $5 or $10 extra a month for this new enhanced Alexa, but no, it's now I'd say a very significant enhancement of Prime membership, and maybe they'll be selling a few more memberships. You get access to the free shipping and all the rest. But anyway, Prime members get it for free. Rollout will be by the end of March, and I had this wrong in the Substack video, which I put up kind of in the midst of things, trying to figure out what was happening. So the way it's going to work is that if you have certain Echo Show devices, you'll get some kind of notification. I got an email yesterday saying it knew that I had some of the devices that work, and so people who have these devices, I'm not sure if it'll be all of them, but some subset of them, will start seeing the ability to fire up Alexa Plus by the end of March. So, in just a little, within the next month. Blog post with some video that Amazon has at Amazon.com about Alexa Plus. There are a couple of important Q&As which I'll share with you. The question, how do customers get early access to Alexa Plus? The answer is we will start rolling out early access to U.S. customers, U.S. only, who own or purchase an Echo Show 8, 10, 15, or 21. Now, those are the more recent versions of the Echo Show, and they range in price from $150, that's for the Echo Show 8, which was introduced in 2023, all the way up to a 21-inch Echo Show, which I think I have one of those that was designed to be mounted on the wall, but I just have it on my desk at Sanibel, and that one cost $400. The ones in between, the Echo Show 10, introduced in 2021, costs $250, and the Echo Show 15, which was updated in 2024, costs $300. If you are interested in Alexa Plus and you don't have one of those devices, you might want to think about buying one sometime, ranging from $150 up to $400. And if you have one of them, then you at least have the chance to get this early access to the device. Then it says customers will be notified via email and through device notifications once access is granted. Once you have access and opt-in, Alexa Plus will start working across all your compatible Echo devices, Fire TV and Fire tablets, as well as your web browser and the Alexa app. I was, of course, interested in whether my Amazon robot Astro was going to get this, and apparently not right away. Let's see. The experience is not currently supported on Alexa built-in devices and Amazon Astro. However, we look forward to expanding Alexa Plus to additional services. There are some devices which will not work with it, including older generation Echo devices like the Dot first generation, Echo first generation, Echo Plus first generation, Echo Tap. That was a nice one. That was sort of a portable Echo. Echo Show first generation, Echo Show second generation, and Echo Spot first generation. So some of the older devices just won't work with Alexa Plus, but the newer ones will. I want to zoom back now to Andy Jassy because it was significant that he was at this event. It hadn't been advertised when I got the invitation from the media department at Amazon. They just mentioned Panos Panay was going to be there. So it was a bit of a surprise when Andy walked onto the stage, and he gave what I found to be a very dense and I'm sure informative overview of all of the AI that Amazon has been working with, in the past decades, and it was about helping businesses use AI who are selling on Amazon, different levels of expertise. There's sort of three levels: people that are creating AI applications, from generative AI applications basically from scratch, all the way up to people that are just, they're not programmers, they're not doing it, but they still have a need to use it, and Amazon, through all of its different capabilities, is able to help with that. Now, Andy Jassy's background is that he was the hero who turned Amazon Web Services, I think it is, AWS, into a huge success and moneymaker, dominating the market for quite a while. So he really understands what it means for Amazon to be helping other companies, businesses, customers of Amazon to use tools that are about computing. And so it's natural that they've really moved aggressively into the whole area of AI. So when he gave this overview, it was hard for me to follow, but what I took as the meaning of it was, I know you reporters here, you're probably here to find out the next cool thing about Alexa, but you need to understand that this company has got AI woven into just everything it does, and that we mean business when it comes to having the generative AI not only be part of Alexa, but to be part of everything that the company does. He came up with what I thought might have been a new mission statement, and it was to make customers' lives better and easier every day, as opposed to Amazon being the world's most customer-centric company, which, that was right out of Jeff Bezos's mind and heart, and it's driven the company ever since 1994 when he founded it in his garage. But that's a pretty clunky way of saying it, a customer-centric company. And when I reached out to say, hey, has the mission statement changed? The answer was no, it hasn't changed. It's just this is kind of the way Andy tends to talk about it, which I think is an improvement. It's definitely the same arena and same purpose, that it's about making the lives of customers good and easier each day. I think that's a nice flourish right there. So he set the stage, and again, this is some audio from the presentation where you get to hear Andy Jassy talking about AI from a larger corporate perspective.
We happen to believe, and we've been saying this for a long time, that virtually every customer experience that we all know of will be reinvented using generative AI, and altogether new experiences that we only dreamed of before are going to be possible with generative AI. Now, if you have that sort of vision, and if you serve customers across the breadth of businesses that we do at Amazon, it means two things. It means first, you're going to do everything in your power to harness the power of generative AI to make every single one of your customer experiences better. And that's what we're doing. I'm not sure there's a company in the world that has a larger AI investment top to bottom than Amazon. And two, it means that you need to have very compelling building blocks to make it easier for people to build generative AI applications. And that's what we've been doing.
I'd like to turn back to Panos Panay now, and luckily he put up something. It's a written post, and you can find it at aboutamazon.com, and it's an overview of Alexa Plus, which it says it's written by Panos Panay, Senior Vice President of Devices and Services. He recalls the first time he spoke with Alexa. He says, "It felt like the future had arrived. I walked into the room, asked Alexa to play A Sky Full of Stars, and it just worked." And so he similar to my own experience, the first time that I asked a question of that black tennis ball can, and I actually had something happen, pretty amazing. And now the thing that's amazing for Amazon's role in AI is that there are more than 600 million Alexa devices now out in the world. And with this addition of generative AI capability to not all of those devices, as we saw earlier, but I don't know, maybe most of them or a lot of them, all of a sudden there are these things out in the world which can have all of the capabilities of ChatGPT and the other bots. And the significance of this is something which I've had some experience with because I have been trying out the AI pin was the main one. There's some other aspects of AI devices like the Plod note pin, which I talked to you about. But the AI pin is something which gave me a look into what would it be like if I had AI not as a bot, something where I type in something as if I'm typing a text to a friend, only in this case the friend comes back and can give me all of the information in the world at the touch of my fingertips. And some of them, ChatGPT and I think Copilot now, some of the others are starting to have voice so that I can have an actual conversation. But I'm still doing it with my phone, and it's that's and there's no screen. There's nothing visual to it the way there is with Alexa Plus on the Echo Show screens. So when I was using the AI pin, I saw the benefit of having this capability portable wherever I went. And with the AI pin, I was paying $24 a month, so there was a cellular plan. I didn't even have to have my phone nearby. I could get the AI pin to work. And AI pin, by the way, gets turned off tomorrow. It's funny. It's almost as if AI pin, after a year of giving me all kinds of interesting looks at what it's like to have AI with me all the time, to much mocking in some quarters among my friends and family. But Darlene thinks, ask the AI pin this. Here goes the AI pin, and here comes Alexa Plus, which it's not precisely the same, although there will be the ability to have Alexa Plus on the Echo frames that I have, and I haven't used them much recently, but these are glasses where I think if you say Alexa and you're wearing them, or maybe you tap something, I can't even remember. But anyway, that will be another portable way of having this AI with me. Now, when I had the sort of classic Alexa with the Echo frames, I could play some music or I could do some stuff. But now that hardware device is going to have access to the whole full Monty of all of the AI capabilities. By the way, the AI resources have to do with a company called Anthropic, which Amazon has invested billions of dollars in, and their AI is called Claude. I've used it. It doesn't have a voice version of it, so I don't use it as much as ChatGPT. But it's very credible. It's sort of a friendlier, smarmier AI than it meets my taste. But it's a company that has a lot of backing and a lot of horsepower to it. So they're using Claude, but then they're also using other kind of Amazonian versions of AI as well. So that's where all of the smarts comes from for the device. But the significance of what Amazon did yesterday has to do with hardware, really, because having the 600 million devices out there and many or most of them being able to all of a sudden give someone AI exposure and competence without even having to type a text message into a bot. You could just be standing there and say Alexa and ask just as involved questions as I do to Petey sometimes. And I think that's why Darlene is very excited about it. She's had ChatGPT on her phone for the past year or so and very seldom uses it. And I think it's because it feels like too techie a thing to do. But if Alexa Plus is as fluid and friendly and helpful as she appeared to be in the demonstrations, I think Darlene is going to use it a lot. And we've got, let's see, there's one in the bedroom, there's one in the kitchen, there's one in my office. There's at least 4 Echo Show devices that will turn on once we get access, because they're all the most recent ones. Another aspect of Alexa Plus that Panos emphasized in his post has to do with its ability to act as an agent. Now, this is something which I'm seeing more and more of in talking about AI, and I'm really looking forward to learning a lot more about it at South by Southwest, which I'll be heading to next week, I think. My experience of it so far is limited to ChatGPT version, which is called Operator, and it's $200 a month that I'm paying just to kind of experiment with it, and it's pretty amazing. I've talked about it, I think, in the Morning Journal off and on. I'm able to tell it to go to some different websites, and the way I got a ticket to a Broadway show that I went to yesterday before the trip, I had Operator see if there is some seats that I could go to when the Amazon briefing is over and book them for me. And it navigated to I think Telecharge was the one it used, and then I could see it flashing through all of these web pages, and it was as if I was driving the web on autopilot to actually watch it do things. Well, Alexa Plus is going to be able to do that in really a more useful way based on some of the demonstrations that Panos and others on the team demonstrated. He says that, for example, he says, let's say you need to get your oven fixed. Alexa Plus will be able to navigate the web, use Thumbtack to discover the relevant service provider, authenticate, arrange the repair, and come back to tell you it's done. there's no need to supervise or intervene. And there was a demo someone else on the team did where, his oven was down, and says, where can I get help to fix a meal oven? And we could see on the screen as it identified these various repair places that might be able to do it, and this one is available and that one isn't. So again, it was that autopilot feel, but on the Echo Show screen in these demonstrations, it was much more approachable. You sort of see web pages flash before you, but as Alexa Plus was doing these demos, she was explaining what she was doing. In one case, she was asked to find a restaurant that 4 people could go to after the Amazon event. And she says, well, here are some restaurants, and she shows little thumbnails of them. And he said, well, I like that one, that's the Italian or whatever it was. She said, okay, let me check. And then she comes back and says, good news, there's a table available for 6 or 4. Would you like me to reserve it? And he says, book it. So she does. And then he says, we've got a friend flying into LaGuardia, and we'd like to have her join us. So can you arrange to give her an Uber ride from LaGuardia to the restaurant? And again, you were able to see Alexa Plus do exactly that. She says, okay, good news. That seemed to be something that she often says as she reaches some kind of a goal on the way to what's being done. There are Uber riders or drivers available. Probably going to reserve it the way I've been doing Uber. And then it shows the various levels, which one do you want? And he says, well, I like the Uber X. And she says, okay, it's going to cost $60 to get to the restaurant. Would you like me to do it? And he says, yep. And she says, okay. And there's a little bit of a pause, not long. And she comes back and says, good news, it's booked. Your friend has got an Uber reservation. So this is pretty amazing, and it gives you a feeling for, I can't even sort of look far enough into the future to see what it will be like to have these Echo Shows that I already have in the house be able to do that kind of help and have that just be part of your life. I'm going to turn now to the interview that I did with Nedum Fresco, who is Vice President for Alexa. And after the demonstrations, and as it was getting time for me to leave for my appointment on Broadway to see The Outsiders, I was able to meet him in a conference room and set up to do video and audio. One thing that was interesting about his background, I think he'd worked at Lab 126 for a while, which was the area that all the inventions come from for Amazon. But he'd also worked at the company that created the BlackBerry device, which there was a period of time when it had a 40% market share in North America for all smartphones, and everybody had a BlackBerry, especially in business and political. You see, I don't know if it's on the West Wing or whatever, but everybody pulls out their BlackBerry. But there came a point when things were changing. The iOS, the Apple system, and Android was coming along, and the technology was moving faster than RIM, the company that created the BlackBerry, was able to keep up with. And in a period of, 4 or 5 years, that 40% market share went to 0. And Nedum worked at RIM at that time. So you'll hear me ask a question about it, which I don't think he might not have enjoyed any suggestion that Alexa could have been facing the same fate as the BlackBerry. But I think that from what I've been reading and just what I've been experiencing, as all of the devices that I was using, the AI pen and different things, and just, on my phone, poor Alexa, the only thing we were using her for is to set a timer for something to do with cooking, find out what the weather's going to be. We don't even use her to play that much music. So it was fading in its usefulness to us. And I think that's why everybody was anticipating, is Amazon going to catch up with what else it can do. Well, it turned out that not only caught up, but I think went further by pressing the AI available on the Echo Show devices, on the hardware, into the ability to be an agent and then do amazing things. There was one demonstration where a woman had loaded her HOA document into Alexa, and she just casually asked a question, gee, I think I might want solar panels on my house. What are the rules on the HOA document? And, in seconds, Alexa came back and said, actually, you can, but you can't have them visible from the front of the house. And then just gave through some very useful facts about how to approach putting solar panels on our house, based on the fact that you might have had hundreds of pages from these complex HOA declarations that everybody has to deal with. So you're getting the ability for it to be an agent, and you're getting fluidity, all the different things that Amazon has brought to this. It seems to me it's not certainly future-proofing Alexa, but it's keeping her from going the way of the BlackBerry. So with that, I'll play I think it was about a 15-minute conversation I had with Nedim. I always like to hear from the people who are actually doing the work. And he was a tall, sort of taciturn guy, and very businesslike, and but very competent. When I meet people from Amazon, they have all different kinds of personalities. And, Panos is sort of an emotive guy, probably more of a poet. And Nedim seems like more of an engineer. And I like them both.
Hi, Ben. I'm Nedim Fresco. I'm responsible for the tech stack in Alexa.
The tech stack in Alexa.
Yes.
And so I imagine somewhere along this, as the team was developing Alexa Plus, did you have a moment where you saw it do something, maybe something you had tried in your own home, and you just kind of went, oh wow, this is like that moment when technology is like magic? What was that for you?
Yeah, I think I've had so many magical moments with Alexa Plus. I think I really love the conversational, intelligent nature of Alexa Plus, where even a fragment of an idea makes sense to the product, and you can start searching and exploring based on that. It's really magical.
Very fluid. The demonstration, I kept holding my breath because I was also at the event in 2023 when Dave Limp gave a version of it, and there were these awkward silences, and he had to say, well, how's my favorite football team doing? But this was flawless, it seemed.
Yeah, we learned a lot from that event, and we took that feedback and built a product that we're very proud of.
Yeah, I can see why. Well, now some of the details, what I heard was you're going to start rolling it out in the next several weeks. Is that how you're describing it?
Correct, by end of March.
By the end of March.
Yes.
And by the end of the year, will everybody have it, or do you have any sense of when the rollout will be concluded?
We'll be ramping it out throughout the year.
Okay. And is there any way to get early access if you want to be like a beta tester or somebody who gets it just because they are really eager? Is there a way to do that?
For early access, so we'll be starting with Echo Show 8, 10...
Oh, it's by device.
Yes, by device type. So
okay.
If you own a screen device,
yeah,
one of the larger screen devices, starting it with 8-inch, you can sign up, and when you get Alexa Plus, your entire home will light up. So all your devices will start working. The only prerequisite is having one of the screen devices.
Okay, so I've got, I forget what it's called. It's a big one. What do they call the big one?
There's an Echo Show 8,
yeah,
and a 15, and a 21.
I might have the 21 or the 15.
Right.
So when I get back home to Florida, will I be able to go into that device and say I want Alexa Plus when it arrives?
Yeah, there will be a way to sign up.
It'll be like a message on the screen.
Yeah, there will be a way to sign up for it.
Okay. Oh, that's great. And now, will there be some devices that are so old that they just won't be able to ever have Alexa Plus?
Yeah, the overwhelming majority of our devices will work with Alexa Plus with no changes. But we have some very old devices, like, for example, the first Echo device ever.
The tennis ball can.
Yeah, that one will not be supporting Alexa Plus, but the majority will.
But some of the little round ones, like the ones my grandsons use,
they will definitely
they'll all be
supported.
fired up. Yeah. If you have an older machine, will there be more latency, or will any machine that you put it on, it'll perform the same?
It will perform the same.
Okay, that's great. I've also got the Echo frames, the glasses, and so will they, if I get the service, will they work as well?
Yeah. Yes, they will work. Most of the intelligence of Alexa Plus is in the cloud, so we are compatible with most of our device range.
And that'll be cool because as long as I've got my iPhone in my pocket and I'm pairing with it, I could just say Alexa something and then start the kind of conversation that Panos had there while I'm driving along or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. The personalization of it interests me because I know that all along Alexa has had a personality. This has been part of the making it less intimidating.
Yes.
And it seemed like when Panos was giving the demonstration, there was the first time he said Alexa, there was a certain kind of a voice, and then he said Alexa again. Was he queuing up a different personality that second time that he said Alexa?
No, it's the same personality. The way the user experience works is, if you haven't been interacting with Alexa, you say Alexa once.
Yeah.
Summon it up.
Right.
And after that, you can speak without that Alexa word back and forth. It might have been that he wanted to just repeat himself.
I see.
There's no necessity for that, and it's not different personalities. It's the same personality.
Now on ChatGPT voice mode, I can suggest that the voice, say, older, younger, edgy, or this or that. Can we coach Alexa Plus to tweak her personality?
Yeah, so we have two ways to tweak the personality. One is we have a choice of 8 voices, 4 male and 4 female. You heard the default voice, but we have several others, depending on what you like. And it's also possible to say to Alexa, speak faster, speak slower, and that also is respected. So there's a way to change that voice.
Can you say that I've been using the AI pin, which gets turned off in a couple of days, but can you say short answers, long answers?
Yes, you can say be brief. You can say be verbose. You can say be excited. It's possible to instruct the AI.
Interesting.
Yes.
Alexa.com, what kinds of things will that enable us to do as part of the Alexa Plus experience?
Yeah, it's our web UI. It has the full space of a browser window, and you can type into it. And so you can type in longer queries, you can upload documents easily from your desktop, and you can get more verbose and more comprehensive answers as well. So what you would expect from a web interface versus an Echo interface, which is more far-field.
And is that new? Does Alexa.com exist now?
No, it doesn't exist now.
So
It's
that'll be
brand
part
new.
of it.
Yes.
I was very interested in the uploading of like the HOA documents, things like that. Would the Alexa.com be a place that I could just simply kind of drag documents in?
Yes, absolutely. It'll just be what you would expect. You can attach a document directly from the file.
That'll be really
system,
convenient.
and it'll do exactly what you saw.
And then you could also show a document to the screen, and it would take a picture of it? Or?
Yes. It's not it can, it has image understanding as well, yes.
I see. And, okay, let's see. One thing I noticed that you had worked for RIM, BlackBerry.
Yes,
and the RIM, I was doing a little research, and it had a 40% market share in North America of smartphones in 2010, and by 2016 it had gone to 0. And some of the kind of analysis of it was that they had failed to innovate and take into account iOS and Android. Having lived through that experience and what you learned from it, it seems to me that if Alexa hadn't done something this bold and dramatic, it could have, I mean, I'm sure that you know many differences in the RIM experience versus Alexa, but with so much happening, it just was feeling more and more out of date, and it feels like you didn't just catch up. You made the bar even higher, and then you surpassed that. But was that, in any sense, from your experience, a way to make sure that Alexa doesn't go the way of the BlackBerry?
We have a fantastic team, very experienced, and we all bring our experiences to it. So it's been very exciting to see. We aspired to build an excellent product for customers, and we were inspired by what we were seeing in the AI world, and we brought it all together for a great user experience. And our collective experiences definitely contributed to wanting to strike the best balance possible and do the best product possible for consumers. And I think we built the best personal assistant in the world.
Yeah, I can see why you think that. Well, anything else that we haven't talked about? Is it something that I have a very loyal Amazon Kindle Alexa audience here, but what are some of the other things that, or one or two things people really need to know as they're first hearing about Alexa Plus?
Well, it sounded like you really enjoyed the show and you really enjoyed what we're promising to customers. That makes me very excited.
Good, good. Well, thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Okay, all right, we're there. Well, I'm going to switch gears here a little bit, and then I'm going to share with you some of the early reviews that came out of yesterday's event to give you a flavor for what others in the media had to think about it, and then maybe close with some thoughts about what's ahead. I had the idea as I was preparing to come here to New York that that's Broadway, you know. And at first I thought, I read about a play that George Clooney is in. It turns out it's not open yet. It doesn't open until March. So then I just did a little AI-assisted research and found out that there was a musical, The Outsiders, it's playing on Broadway, and it was won the Tony Award last year for Best Musical. And it was about, it grew out of a 1960s novel, I think written by a young man who went on to be a noted author. It was turned into a movie, and now it's a musical. And it's about the greasers and the Socs, rival gangs divided along class and wealth lines in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And there's some violence. It was a stunning show, and I had great seats, about 10 rows in the center of the orchestra. At one point, there's fire, and there are these old cars and dancing routines that were so energetic and so beautiful to watch, even though they were portraying violence, you know. And at the core of the story, there is a guy, Pony Boy, who is he's a writer, he's a poet. I'm sure he's based on the author himself, and Pony Boy Curtis, and the young man that played the role did a good job, and he has a friend, Johnny Cade, who ends up dying out of wounds that he suffers when he was involved in a murder, and then he saves some kids from a burning building. Anyway, a lot of drama in this musical, but at the climactic end of the play, Johnny Cade, the character that plays Johnny Cade, he's died, but he has a message for Pony Boy that he delivers in a song that's titled "Stay Gold." And yeah, I got kind of choked up about, there's something about having gone through that session with Amazon and just, I don't know, the energy and the creativity and my own feeling of gratitude that I'm 74 years old and I get to come up to New York City to be part of the media to cover an event that I'm excited about. And so the idea of, innocence and beauty, which is kind of at the core of, that's the gold in the song, Stay Gold. And it comes from a poem by Robert Frost, Nothing Gold Can Stay. And Pony Boy is trying to explain to his friend at one point, what does that poem even mean? It's a very short poem, so I'll read it to you. Nothing gold can stay. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day. Nothing gold can stay. Well, Johnny Cade is urging Ponyboy to defy that truth that was captured in Frost's poem, and to extend the idea of what's gold and what's vanishing to innocence and a love of life and appreciating moments of life that can be renewed at any age. And that's how you avoid growing old. There you have it. So as I translated this into the Amazon setting, and thinking of Alexa as something that was gold at the start, I mean, it was innocent, it was fresh, and it was something that had so much potential, and it was Jeff Bezos's baby, and he sank tons of money into it. I remember when they hired, I don't know, maybe thousands of people to work on Alexa, a lot of them based in Cambridge and Central Square. There's this period that something amazing had been created. And then it kind of faded with the arrival of generative AI, and I can imagine a poetic view of what the people at Amazon, Panos in particular, with his poetic soul, how can we recapture the gold? How can we bring that back? And when I saw the disarming vulnerability of Panos as he did that little demonstration, what could go wrong here? And, do these 250 reporters like me or not? I could imagine that he was touching that same place. And in the song, Johnny Cade sings, "Stay gold, pony boy, stay gold." That was a nice juxtaposition. Oh man, I almost missed the show. I scheduled, if I'd had Alexa Plus working for me, I might have put it all together very quickly, but I reserved an Uber ride from Spring Studios back to the hotel so I could drop my laptop with a computer in it at the hotel concierge desk, and then race down to Broadway and managed to get to my seat 3 minutes before the curtain went up. And I just had this feeling of, wow, this is New York, baby. You hang out at an Amazon tech thing, and then you get to go to a Broadway show. And I really had no idea how the show was going to affect me. I thought it might give some insight into how do we navigate the divisions in the country with the second administration of Trump. That am I a soc, and who are the greasers, and how do we do that? That was there, and there was some insight to be gained. But the deeper way that this musical touched me and the story touched me, and I think I want to read the book and watch the movie, is this idea that, stay gold, and what that means in terms of staying innovative, staying, in my version of it, it's staying open and ready to learn and ready to share what I learn at any age. I'll be 75 in August, and my dad lived to be 96, and he had gold in him right up till the end of his life at 96. Always learning, always asking me about Bitcoin and all the things that I was involved with. So, yeah. So it's been a full couple of days here in New York City, and I think I might be able to get this up before I meet my Uber to go back to LaGuardia. And tonight I'll be back home in Sanibel with a lot to savor and a lot to look forward to. And I can't wait until one of our Alexa devices or an email says, "Good news! You are now able to access Alexa Plus." I'll close with some of the early reviews from the major publications. I wanted to make sure I'm not completely out on a limb here and feeling so positive about what I saw about Alexa Plus. But the New York Times said Alexa Plus is a bold leap forward, blending seamless AI conversation with Amazon's signature convenience, a virtual assistant that finally feels like a companion. Wall Street Journal. With Alexa Plus, Amazon delivers a smarter, sassier assistant. Think less scripted robot, more intuitive helper, ready to tackle your day. The Washington Post wrote, Alexa Plus emerges polished and promising, turning past stumbles into a showcase of generative AI that's worth the wait. And Wired Magazine, one of my favorites, Alexa Plus isn't just an upgrade, it's a reinvention, a chattier, sharper AI that makes your smart home feel like sci-fi come to life. Nobody mentions Amazon staying gold by bringing this into the world, but I think that I can read between the lines and see that at least some of the 250 of us who gathered there had a similar level of enthusiasm and optimism about this product than I did. Well, that's it, and I've got a little time to chill, maybe have a little rest, and I'm all packed up, ready to head home to Sanibel. Thanks for listening.